Hi friend, welcome to Running to Myself. I'm your host, Tricia Stanton. In third grade, more than anything in the world, I wanted a pair of clogs. It was 1979 and I can still picture them perfectly. Thick wooden sole, stacked heel, soft brown leather across the top. If I close my eyes, I can still hear them clomp, clomp, clomping down the hallway. I was sure that if I had those shoes, everything would be different. I also wanted long, polished fingernails and thick, long, flowing hair. What I had was plain white sandals, thin, stick-straight, medium-length hair that always looked stringy, and short, unpolished fingernails, along with a dad who thought that little girls should not wear nail polish. In my plain shoes, plain hair, and plain fingernails, I felt very plain, unnoticed, unremarkable, and what I really wanted to feel was special, pretty, grown up. Pause there for a second. This matters more than it seems. Decades later, when I started learning coaching tools, I learned something that completely changed how I see desire. Are you ready for it? We don't actually want the things that we want. We want how we think those things will make us feel. Let's travel back to little girl me. At 8 years old, I wasn't thinking, I want a pair of clogs because I enjoy footwear variety. No, my brain was telling me very clearly, if I had those shoes, I would feel special. Like my classmate Laura, clomping fabulously through the halls. If I had long hair, I would feel pretty. Like my neighbor Stacy, whose mom always gave her the most beautiful and attention-grabbing braids and styles, so much so that strangers would stop her in public to compliment her. If I had long painted fingernails, I would feel grown up like my beautiful aunts who had fancy jobs. Let me clarify, by fancy jobs, I mean they were teachers. So clearly, 8-year-old me hadn't seen much of the world beyond my own cul-de-sac. But here's what's important. I had unknowingly handed those feelings over to things outside of me. Shoes, hair, nail polish. Of course, it's fun to look back and laugh at that sweet, naive version of myself, but the truth is, we don't grow out of this. We just upgrade the clogs. The adult version of this might sound like, I'll feel confident when I lose the weight. I'll feel secure when the relationship improves. I'll feel successful when I have the bigger house. I'll feel calm when everything settles down. Same pattern, different shoes. Here's the problem with that pattern. If you believe the feeling comes from the thing, you will spend your life chasing the thing. But when you get it, the feeling doesn't last. And that's because the feeling never came from the thing in the first place. It came from the thought you had about the thing. Let me say that again in a really simple way. It's not the clogs that create special. It's the thought, these make me special. And if that's true, then we have more power than we think. Are you ready for the shift in thinking? This is where everything starts to open up. Your feelings are not coming from your circumstances. They're coming from your thinking. So if you've been waiting for something outside of you to deliver a feeling, you've been waiting on the wrong thing. And I say this with so much compassion because we all do this, but it also means that you don't have to wait anymore. If you're ready to take action and create the feeling that you want, here are 4 simple tools to get you started. Tool number 1, identify the real desire. Here's where we start. Instead of asking, what do I want? I want you to ask, what do I think this will make me feel? Let's make it real. If your brain says, I want to get in better shape, pause and ask, what feeling am I chasing here? Confidence? Pride? Freedom? Attraction? Get specific, because what you want is not actually the result. It's the feeling you think the result will give you. I know this way of thinking might feel a little strange at first, but stick with me and you'll begin to see how true it is. Tool number 2, separate the fact from the story. Now, this is where you can use some mindset map work. We take the situation, the neutral fact, and we separate it from the story. The fact might be, I don't have the body I want right now. That's neutral. The story is, that means I'm not confident. That means I'm not attractive. That means I'm behind. And those thoughts create the feeling, not the body. Tool number 3, create the feeling on purpose. Now, here's the part most people either skip or aren't aware of, but it's also where you have all the power. If the feeling is created by a thought, then we can practice thinking on purpose. So if you're waiting to feel confident until everything changes, what would it look like to start generating confidence now? Not to fake it, not to force it, but to build it, thought by thought. Something like, I can trust myself to follow through. I'm learning how to show up consistently. I don't need to be perfect to respect myself. Feel the difference there? That's available right now, no clogs required. As I think back to that little 3rd grade version of me sitting there in my plain white sandals, feeling invisible, if I could sit next to her now, I wouldn't hand her a pair of shoes. I would teach her something different. I would tell her, you get to decide how you see yourself. You don't have to wait to feel special. Not the shoes. It's in you. Tool number 4, daily practice. Here's something simple you can do starting today. Pick one feeling you've been waiting on. Just one. Confidence, calm, connection, peace, pride. And ask yourself, what would I be thinking if I already felt this? Write down 2 or 3 thoughts and then practice them. They might not fit perfectly yet. Practice them consistently anyway, because feelings aren't found. They're formed through practice, even if we don't realize it yet. If you take nothing else from this episode, take this. You are not chasing a result. You are chasing a feeling, and the moment you realize you can create that feeling on purpose, everything shifts. Because now you're no longer waiting. You're leading yourself and creating the life you want on purpose. Learn your patterns, lead your life. Thanks for being here with me this week. Until next time, keep running to yourself.